we're going to have a short input on the Council of the Baltic Sea States. That's why my colleague, Senior Advisor Kaarina Williams, is here with me on stage now. So we will present you a bit more about our institution and then also about the Baltic Sea Youth Platform that you can join and be active in, as I have told you a couple of times now. So, and then afterwards, we will start with other sessions today, more workshops to come, again, interactive. Click on the sessions and join. And please join with your video or your audio. It's really nice for the workshop holders to know who is there in the room. Otherwise, you talk to a wall and that's not really nice. So please remember to switch on your audio and camera. You can just request to share it and then they will let you share it. Up to 20 people can share their video. So there should be space for all of us. Please also look around a little bit which workshop you want to attend. There is a poll in our poll session where you can already state which workshop you will be interested in, and you can also see all the workshops that will happen later on. So check them out. And I hope you have a nice workshop session. And now we're gonna present you some information on the CBSS, the Council of the Baltic Sea States, and the Baltic Sea Youth Platform in a second. And yeah, see you later then at 16:30. No, at 17:30 we will meet again on stage for a roundup, and then you can also join our evening sessions, play some games, and get to know those people who are in the sessions with you, who have been here all the time, and you can mingle and have fun. So I hope you enjoy this day. Thank you for joining us at the Baltic Sea Youth Camp 2020 online edition. So, here we go.
Okay, Aline, I will take over. Thank you for the introduction to this session. Yes, we're really happy that we can also show you a little bit about our work. You have already in the workshops met some of our colleagues working in the CBSS Secretariat, but nevertheless, as we're also, as you could tell, a strong motor in implementing the EU Baltic Sea strategy, we want to tell you a little bit about the CBSS as such, and then of course about our big project, the Baltic Sea Youth Platform, which brings us all together here at the youth camp. So why was the CBSS set up? It was set up in 1992. We heard also yesterday in the lecture by Tobias Etzold to ease the transition to a new international landscape after the fall of the Iron Curtain. And the organization today focuses on themes such as building a regional identity, societal security, sustainability, research and innovation, as well as countering human trafficking. The CBSS has 11 member states, which is Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Germany, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, Poland, Russia, and Sweden, as well as the European Union. And the main mission of the CBSS is to support a global perspective on regional problems. And politically and practically, this means that we, for example, translate the UN Sustainable Development Goals or the Paris Climate Agreement into regional actions that happen on the ground in our region. And not only that, the CBSS also functions as a coordinator of many other regional actors, for example, in projects and different working groups. So we build our work on three main pillars that you can see here on the screen. That's regional identity, sustainable and prosperous region, and safe and secure region. Some of these you could also get to know in the workshops. Within the long-term priority regional identity, we focus mainly on culture, higher education, and youth cooperation. So that's why we are here to host you in this youth camp. We focus very much on youth work. We also look, of course, at our common history, our common heritage in the region, and we try to build a deeper understanding for each other, and slowly but surely over the years also to build a regional identity, a we feeling in the region, and we want to help to make this region more resilient. Then we have the sustainable and prosperous region, where we support sustainable economic and social development. We want to have healthy societies and dynamic ecosystems in the Baltic Sea region. And we want to inspire all the regions all around the world. So we want to show that the Baltic Sea region is really something special through all of this cooperation that is going on and makes us a lot stronger. And then we also have the safe and secure region, long-term priority, where the long-term goal is to make us all feel safe and secure, and also at home in every corner of our region. We want to improve the well-being of our communities, and we want to build networks, and we want to build trust, which is one of our main missions, of course, in this cooperation, so that we can better respond to unexpected hazards and emergencies that might come up and affect our region. So this is the strength of our organization, that there is a political level that can find agreements and that can be put into action also through concrete projects. And one of these projects we will talk about a bit more in a minute. And then you might have the question, how do we actually work? As the EU strategy for the Baltic Sea region, also the CBSS is quite a complex organization working on different levels. The highest decision-making body of the CBSS is the Council, and that consists of the 11 foreign ministers of the CBSS member states. As I already said yesterday, they, for example, at their last meeting, all really focused and highlighted youth cooperation in the region. So that took place in May online this time. So this is the highest decision-making body. And the foreign minister that chairs the council, in this case, at the moment, it is Denmark, as you could see the Danish foreign minister speaking to us yesterday. He's the main speaker for the organization. So there's always one country holding the chairmanship or the presidency, and it rotates between the member states on an annual basis. Mostly the council meets once per year. But there is, of course, also people that make the day-to-day decision-making for the CBSS, and that's the so-called Committee of Senior Officials. The abbreviation is the CSO, and that consists of representatives from the foreign ministries of the CBSS member states. So the member state that holds the presidency of the CBSS is also chairing the Committee of Senior Officials. And it's the one calling for the CSO meetings to discuss the work of the organization. And then last but not least, we also have the Secretariat. And that's where Aline and me work, and the colleagues that you got to know. And here you can see that we are just in the middle of a process of moving into new premises. From 1st of July, we will work and basically live at this wonderful palace that you can see in the heart of Stockholm on the nice island of Södermalm. And that's where we work together with our colleagues. We are around about 30 people. It differs from time to time. We have a lot of interns and people that come for shorter periods. But I would say around 30 people is sort of the average of people working at the CBSS Secretariat. And we, of course, are the ones that are doing the so-called groundwork. We, of course, are supporting the CSO, and we're supporting the council of the CBSS to form their decision-making and to support them with everything they want to achieve. And on the other hand, we are, of course, doing the projects. And that's one of our main tools to implement things that we think are necessary to form the future of the Baltic Sea region. So we are working in many different projects. And one of our projects in the regional identity long-term priority is the newly established Baltic Sea Youth Platform. and Aline will tell you now more about that. I just want to encourage you as well to use the chat and ask us questions. We don't have very much time in this session, but maybe we can answer one or two of your questions or even some more. So please feel free to put your questions in the chat and we will try to answer them, because of course this is now just a very, very brief overview. And yeah, we are always there also at your disposal after this event. Please approach us anytime if you want to know more about the CBSS. And now I'll stop talking and give the word again to Aline to present the Baltic Sea Youth Platform.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kaarina. And yeah, as Kaarina said, please ask questions or approach us anytime. So, about the Baltic Sea Youth Platform, the background of this project is going rather far. So, we had different youth meetings from different youth organizations, and everybody was like, well, we need a coordination point for young people in the region. There's no such thing as like, yeah, a real stable and sustainable point where we can all go to, where we can talk, where we can discuss meetings. They are coming and going, and like nobody really knows what's going on. So we have to really find a structure here. And so this project is implemented and developed by young people. For example, through the Baltic Sea Youth Dialogue, which we hold annually. Also this year we will have one where you can meet in smaller groups with around 20 people. Also, last year's Baltic Sea Youth Camp was a strong driver for this development, where we met with around 100 people. And from my own history, I can tell you I've participated in these events. And then I did an internship at the CBSS, and they allowed me to be part of this great project and really, implement this now. So, lead partner in the whole project is the CBSS, the Council of the Baltic Sea States, which gives a strong institutional backing for this platform. The strategic partners are the Union of the Baltic Cities, the UBC, the Baltic Sea States Sub-Regional Cooperation, the BSSC, the Euroregion Baltic, as well as LIOT, the Lithuanian Youth Council, and Erasmus Student Network Finland, ESN. We have a lot of other associated partners. You might know some of them, because I think all of them also shared the invitation to this camp. So you might be familiar with several of them. And we have also associated partners outside of our region. For example, the Arctic Youth Network or the Barents Youth Network. We cooperate with them. We cooperate with other macro regions to really have these strong connections and build synergies and not overlaps. The demands for a youth platform were a systematic and overarching involvement of young people in the policy making and decision making in all levels in the Baltic Sea region. So from the very local level that most of you will be active in to the highest level up to the ministers, we want to have a continuous participation of young people in decision making. We want to connect youth organizations who are active in the region. They sometimes don't even know about each other, but through this platform, they get connected, they can exchange ideas, they can meet, and they can have common meetings as well. So it's much more useful for everyone, and it really connects the region. We want to encourage young people to state their opinions, ensure it's taken serious by decision makers. So please, please, please always state your opinion. This platform won't survive if there are not young people who will be active, who will take over some responsibility. Of course, always being educated by those who know stuff, but you will have the chance to really try out things. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Then next time, try again, and it'll work out at some point. We will also try to enable youth organizations to reach their full potential and cooperate through the Agenda 2030. So driving the Agenda 2030 and having more sustainable aspects in youth work is one of our missions. And of course, the knowledge transfer is always a big issue in youth organization. Young people tend to grow older, luckily, but that also means they are not active in youth organizations any longer. So we want to have a stable, continuous knowledge transfer through different toolkits and guidebooks, through workshops that we are giving and that we are promoting for youth organizations in our region. Also through finding funding tools for them, because after the lack of funding is then, yeah, that means they won't continue because they don't have anybody who's employed or something. But we will try to find these funding tools and to make them available to youth organizations. And of course, as Kaarina and I are working for the regional identity long-term priority in the CBSS, we want to develop a Baltic Sea identity, because this is really something that will strengthen all of us. We will learn that we have a common heritage and we have a common future, and cooperation is the way to go, as you've also stated today when you were asked about what the Baltic Sea region actually means for you. Of course, this doesn't mean that we all want to be the same. We want to embrace diversity in our daily life. So the vocal points of the Baltic Sea Youth Platform are to improve the political impact of young people on the Baltic Sea policymaking, development of tools for better knowledge transfer, and facilitate various innovative projects. So also the youth platform itself will have projects just like this or other projects that you can participate in, even as an individual. How we implemented the platform for now is funding through the Erasmus Plus project. We've discussed it yesterday already. This is a really great funding tool available from the European Commission. It's an EU funding that not only is there for young people to go on student exchanges, but really is for all kinds of youth work in Europe. And we applied for it. We got funding from it. And this is a 31-month project currently, but of course we want to make it more sustainable. We want to find new ways of funding it. And then we want to have it for a really long time until it's not necessary anymore. That's the goal, because youth is involved everywhere at that point, and we just don't need it. We have a regional youth coordinator at the CBSS Secretariat in Stockholm, so that's me. You can always reach out to me if you have anything going on with youth in the region, and I'm happy to hear about it. I'm happy to share it. I'm happy to discuss it with you. Don't be shy. I'm really a nice person. I hope you could see that the past 2 days. So yeah, always reach out to me. You can find my contact details almost everywhere on the CBSS website, on the BSYP website. So I'm happy to hear from all of you now that you heard so much from me. And then we have the youth working groups that I will talk about now. So we have 6 groups that you can be active in, because we need young voices. We cannot only go to the politician and say, oh, we are the youth platform. And then they ask us, okay, and what youth are you representing? Who is this youth? And we are saying like, okay, we have like 15 different organizations in here. That doesn't make any sense. We really need the young people going there and then telling like, this is what we want, and we have the backing of this youth platform, so please take us serious. That's what we want to achieve. So this is why you can join these working groups according to your own interests. We wanted to make them as diverse, but also as useful for the platform development as possible. So we have an advocacy working group that is about political outreach, how to talk to, whom to talk to. And yeah, we will work on different strategies, how to make it easier for young people to approach politicians and decision makers in the region. We have the Powerbox working group that will work on toolkits and guidelines for youth work, but also for youth participation. It's always a two-way street. So intergenerational dialogue is something we really embrace in our youth platform, because we know that it's really important to take everybody with us, the young and those who make the decisions. Hopefully they will be the young as well, but still. The research part is also really important. We need to have data for this. You always, if you come to some politicians, they will ask you, okay, where are the numbers? So then we can say, here they are, these are the data, this is the report that we wrote last year, read it, look at it, and then we can talk. We have to have something implemented on our really local level, and that's the Culture and Cities working group. So culture initiatives on local level will be developed by young people, that everybody can join them, and that also making it easier for rural youth, people who are not living in the city, to maybe join this and hear about this project. So that's the goal of this one. Then we, of course, have to have communications. If nobody hears us, then, well, this project will die out pretty soon, but we don't want it to die out. So we need to have somebody who's taking care of the media, the design, the social media. As you can see, we've already developed a logo, but of course we want to have much more weekly newsletters, whatnot, everything that is needed by young people. And then we have the IT working group. We found a really strong cooperation partner who will work on a platform to connect different youth organizations in hopefully globally at some point, but we will have our own Baltic Sea youth cluster there. So you don't have to write any codes or anything, that we'll take care of. But of course, these tools have to be tested. They have to be further developed and updated, also our website and all these things. And we would be happy to find some people who are interested in this and who want to try out new things. Like, nothing has to be perfect, but it's a learning process. It's for us a learning process as it is for you, and we hope you join us in this really exciting journey. You can find all the information on the Baltic Sea Youth platform on our website, bsyp.eu, bsyp.eu, Baltic Sea Youth platform.eu, and at Baltic Sea Youth on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We also have a Baltic Sea Youth group there on Facebook that you can join. And yeah, let's stay connected, and please apply to these working groups. The deadline for application is the 21st of June. Then we will select the young people who are working in these working groups, and you can find the application for the working groups on bsyp.eu. Go on the section Become a Baltfluencer, and there is also a subsection saying working groups, so you can see them again and read a little more about them. And I hope I see you in one of these working groups. We will, of course, also have them virtually, but hopefully physically soon as well. And yeah, that's all from my part. If you want to reach out to Kaarina or me, just type in our names at cbss.org, and we are happy to get more information about you. And every question, everything, every comment you have, please just share it with us. And we are happy to hear from you. So thank you very much on this. And yeah, that's all from our side. Really become a Baltfluencer. That's our goal, our mission that we are on currently, and we hope we get a lot of support from young people there, because that's really what we need. So if you have any questions, please type them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll have like a short break before the sessions start, but of course you can still type in the chat whenever you want to, and we will still be there and answer all your questions all the time. You can also still go to the expo session, and then yeah, about the working group research, it's really like there is not much, because we will build them also we're in the process of building all of these working groups. So research is mostly about information on reports. We will compile reports for other young people, but also for the policymakers. So especially reports about our project, but also we of course need much more data. So whatever data we find is interesting or missing in the region, we will try to get that somewhere, or maybe apply for some funding for projects to get this data collected. And then we will work with a lot of data, a lot of writing and formulating a report, external reports, but also of course internal reports for our partners, such things. So it's really about the numbers and the scientific work, if you are interested in that. Quantitative and qualitative. But methodology doesn't matter at that point. We'll get into this as soon as we start the working groups. Don't worry. And yeah, exactly. Join us on our Facebook profile.
Yeah, and then there was this question about the age group that we are addressing, and I think it was already answered in the chat, but yes, I can just also say that it varies a little bit, but of course, mainly it is, as Christopher wrote there, the age group between 18 and 25, but it can also, depending on what we're looking at, which format of youth cooperation, it can also sometimes be 16 to 27 or even 30. So it depends a little what event or format we're talking about.
And we have I saw one more question about the working groups, how to apply for them. There is a form on our website. I will just link it in the comments. And then, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we will definitely, that's what the CBSS does a lot. Like when we know, okay, there's data available globally, we kind of look, okay, how is it in our region? Is it different from the global spectrum? Are there different developments? Can we see something that is specific for our region? And that's, of course, something we will definitely do.
Yep. Yeah, I can just also, from my side, really encourage you to take part in these working groups, because our belief is really that the youth platform is absolutely, can only live by the work of young people. It's not that we sit at the secretariat and come up with some ideas that don't match yours at all. So please be active and apply for these working groups. We would be really, really happy to have you all on board.